Once again, everybody, welcome back to Midwestdbs. It's been a while since I've done a deck profile just because lately I've just been playing the monsters of the format, the Sail Surges, the Icaruses, and the Soul Striker decks. So there's about 10 million deck profiles of those out there, so I just didn't feel like doing any for a while. But this last weekend, I played good old faithful, my old boy, Toppo. I ended up going 3-1. I'm trying to think what I played against. I played against Sparking Burly, the green Burly, which I did lose. Hand control's just still rough for this deck. I played against Sin Shenron yellow and Sin Shenron black and the new Red Jaren deck. So, go over the leader real quick. With this deck, you're just wanting to mull for a 2-drop unison so you can awaken quicker and do what your deck does. When this attacks, it draws a card. You can awaken at 4 or less life, or you can awaken when you play a 2-cost unison. And once you play 2-cost unison, you have to, if you're above 6 life, you have to take a life and go down to 6. And then now on this side, as long as you have that 2-drop unison in play, you can only play 1 battle card per turn, and your opponent can only play 1 battle card per turn. So it kind of warps the rules of the game in that fashion. Also, when you swing, you get to draw a card. With this deck, we want to have lots of extra cards as well. I threw this deck together real quick, so I'm going to suggest some changes to it because I can already tell what I need to change. But I'm just going to give you the version that I did play and then some suggestions. So we play 3 Vegeta Final Flash, 1 energy, plus 15k. And then you get to negate the skills of one of your opponent's cards, ignoring barrier. Save me against Red Jaren. So it was a really good card. He came in with the big Jaren for double strike to game me, comboed off his field. Was able to do this and only had to take a life instead of 2. So yeah, ended up winning me that. Next, I know this card's going to go down to 1, so that is one change you're going to have to make. But you're still in this spot are going to want to play extra cards, just because you want to keep your extra card count at 10 or 11. But this card's just snap busted. It negates an attack, or for free, you get to rest one of your opponent's cards and draw a card. Activate battle, so pretty nuts. We play 2 Giant Ball. This is one card that might go up. You could, and we play. Well, let me explain this first. Giant Ball, it's counterplay. The battle card being played is you can switch it to rest mode and then draw a card. So that could go to 3, take up all this power of Super Saiyans, and you could also opt to bump this up to 3, or just any other extra card. This is basically your free negate that gives you a blocker. It's only free if you're at 5 or less life, then you can take a life instead of doing it. Sometimes I was paying 2 to negate, just because a lot of times you slam that 2-drop unison, and they just don't attack you. They just keep swinging at the unison. So there's that. And blocker is very important in this deck, and you'll see why later. Once it protects your unison, too. With this other unison I have, I play 2 of the good old boy that Toppo used to play, the Vegeta. The way it gets counters, it has no plus. You rest it or rest one of your battle cards. Then it has its -1 ability, where your opponent can't play battle cards higher than the current energy they have. Then they have the -3 ability, which is really good, which makes this card basically go bananas. Can be a game ender. You get to switch one of their cards. It can be an energy to rest mode, and then it gets dual attack, double strike, and a plus 5,000k. I did kill some people playing this late game, then minus them tapping down their own only energy. Now this card's really interesting. The whole point of this card is its +1 is sometimes relevant. What the +1 does is you take one of your battle cards and then it switches back to active mode at the end of your turn, which is good. You can swing with some of your blockers and then restand them. But the main thing is it has a +1, and then anytime you activate blocker, once per turn you get to add a counter to it. So this card just gets nuts, and basically it's almost impossible to kill. You can add tons of counters. I only had my opponent kill one once the entire tournament. Any other time I played it, this card just stuck and just stayed around. And when this card stays around, your leader effect stays around. So that's the main purpose of this, is just making sure your leader effect stays intact. Now, some more blockers we play to facilitate that. We play 4 1-drop hand, just standard blocker for 1 energy. If you have a unison in play, it replaces itself. You get to draw a card, so really good. Another really fun card is 4 of these, so that's why we play the 10 extra cards. Maybe you can bump it up to 11 and leave it up to you, but this card is really good in the deck because first off, you're making it where your opponent can only play 1 battle card per turn, and then now the battle card they're playing is basically played in rest mode and you get to draw a card, and it has blocker, so it facilitates with the unison, just everything that we're trying to do. It was really good in this. And the reason why the extra cards is you reduce the energy cost of this for each extra card in your energy and drop. Well, I think it also for extra cards on the battle area too, but we don't play any extra cards that go in the battle area. So we're just looking at energy and drop. We played 2 of these. Because it's still good in this type of deck. This card is arguably better. I mean, it does replace itself, which feels really good. This card is a blocker. You can free play it if you have a unison card with 2 markers on it. And it's 14k, so it can be an attacker. So this could work well with the Piccolo unison if you do, because you can swing with it, uptick your Piccolo unison, and then it can restand as a blocker. But basically, it pretty much does the same thing as this for the most part. And yeah. You get to free play it if you have a unison with 2 markers on it or more. This card, really love this card a lot. You reduce if you have a unison in play, you get to reduce the cost by 1, so you play for 2 energy. It has barrier, which is really good, so it's hard to remove. It's a 19k attacker. When you attack, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, and it doesn't get to switch back to active mode during their turn. So with what Toppo does, it just keeps them having less attackers because you're locking them down with this card and you have all your blockers, so really good. And a lot of these ratios might seem kind of weird, some of them. I just wanted to play a lot of cards. Like I said, this is a very rough draft, but I ended up doing so well that... So, like, we played 3 of the robotic repost. I will bump this up to 4. What this does is it reduces with extra cards, just like the Son Goku counterplay, and it negates the attack, and then going forward, if your opponent wants to attack, they have to tap something down to attack. I think it's non-unit. Please your opponent attack with a non-unison card. Yeah. Yep, with a non-unison card. So it's really good, and it just plays into Toppo's game plans to negate, and then Toppo already kind of shuts them down from extending their game plan by only allowing to play 1 battle card per turn, and then now if they do sneak out a couple battle cards, you're just making it harder for them to swing with what they got because this just locks down stuff. Here's a big change we're going to do. So, super combo I ran was the Krillin super combo, which is tuck 1 underneath your deck, draw 2. It is very good. It was very good when I was trying to game someone. The problem is that your deck is above 4 life for so much of the game. So your super combo is effectively turned off most of the game. So my suggestion would be is you maybe still want to keep 2 of the Krillin, and then the other 2 you can switch to Zamasu super combo or yellow sparking super combo. Because I could see the blue-yellow Zamasu super combo also being really good in the deck as far as tapping down something. So I would switch it up any way you want. You could just play 1 Krillin, 3 Zamasu, or 3 Sparking, or just any combination of those you want. But I definitely say you do not play for Krillin Super Combo going forward. Next, good old Draw Monkey. It's just in there. You can combo it off defensively, and then on your turn, use it to tap 2, draw 2. Yeah, that's enough said about that. Now, of course, we play 1 Borgamo. The problem with this battle card in this deck is it's still good. You still want to play the 1 because you have extra cards at rest cards, and you have effects like you'll see later. But a lot of your battle cards are the cards that are resting cards. So once you do that, this is kind of shut off. But I would still say you just play it because you do have extra cards that rest cards. You have other ways to rest cards. So, but yeah. But essentially, it's a rival for 2. It doesn't say a rival, it's an auto, but that's basically what it is. And then once you play it, you get to choose 2 of your opponent's cards, ignoring bear and switch into rest mode. And to be able to do its auto, you have to rest one of your opponent's cards. So, yep. Next, we played 2 Toppo. Honestly, I don't know about this card going forward. I never played it, but it seems still okay to play in the deck because it can fetch your Vegeta out of your deck, and it's also just a deflect, critical, and has blocker. So even if you play it, it's a 20k critical attacker with deflect, and it has blocker. So you can swing with it. If your Piccolo's out, then you get to restand it, which seems really good. And since I never played it, I forgot the other effect. If you do fetch the Vegeta out, this card gets 10,000 power and double strike, which is really good. Could be game ending. That's why I put it in the deck, but I just wasn't set on it as far as playing it because I never actually was in a position to play it, but I could definitely see where it could be good. Could be cut. Maybe I'll just test around with the deck some more. Next, we played 2 of the 5-drop Frieza. This card's really good in the deck. It also has blocker, so like I said, lots of blockers. It also has double strike. It also has deflect, and the ability is let's see. When this card is played, choose all your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO them, which is pretty nuts. And then you get to switch this card to active mode, so then it's up for blockers. So yep, really good. I did use this a couple times. The main killer that I was really hurting people with was this card. So essentially with this card, you're going to play it for 3 energy in this deck because you're going to have that Piccolo Unison. It's going to have tons of counters on it. So since you got your yellow Unison, you get to play it for 3 energy. And then it's a deflect, double strike. And then if you spirit boost it, it gains dual attack for the turn. And your opponent can't activate skills on battle cards with the original energy cost of 7 or less from any area when this card's in battle. So it shuts down a lot of floodgate negates. It just shuts down a lot of stuff because it's like any battle card that has words on it that's 7 or less no longer has any words on it. Is the best way. Just no words. Because it gets rid of all the skills. It also has the other ability auto when this card is played. Choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO them. So really, really good. Really liked it. I was able to several times play it, spirit boost it, and then on the following turn spirit boost it, just because that Piccolo Unison just gets so many dang counters on it. I did play, let's go through some of my one-ofs. I played one of the 7-drop Bergamo. It's cute. It only worked once. It's a triple attack, barrier, and then I believe the permanent is, when all your opponent's energy is switched to rest mode. Oh, no, sorry. Is in rest mode, reduce the energy cost of him by 3. So it only costs 4. And when you play this card, choose all your opponent's battle cards in Northern Barrier and switch them to rest mode. And those chosen cards can't be switched to active mode during your opponent's next rest mode. Those cards can't be switched to active mode until the start of your next main phase. Yeah. So I never did that part. I just did the triple strike, basically, and just killed them with it. But it's just cute. It could be cut. I just wanted to play one. It's okay. Now, more one-ofs. We play Kai SCR. Kai SCR is really good in a deck like Toppo because in the eventuality your opponent does develop a board, this will just take care of that board. So, really good. Same thing. We play one of the Mass Saiyan for the same reason. If they do develop a board, this can take care of most of the board. We did play one Puntine. Going forward, I'm not sure on Puntine being in the deck just because you don't have Power of the Super Saiyan. You just have Giant Ball to rest cards as an extra card. The rest of your cards that rest cards are battle cards, so you can't play 2 battle cards. So going forward, this could be cut. Look into extra cards that might allow you to free play it. It's just something to look around, but Puntine won because now we can do it and it's really good. And last but not least, we play one Choppa. Choppa's just really good because it just makes any card lethal if your opponent's at 2 life. Just gives them double strike. It can even make your weak guys lethal if you catch your opponent with not any cards in hand. But it's even better working with like your 15k leader or your Vegeta blocker, which is 14k, or you attack with Frieza, or just anything without double strike. This is a 19k. Just really good. I always play one Champa in every deck just because I want a way to take my opponent from 2 to 0. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is the end of the deck profile. I'm not going to go over my matchups. I did at the beginning of the video. Sorry, it's been a while since I've done a deck tech, so a little rusty. But if you have any suggestions for this deck or any different builds or just anything, way to tweak it if you played a lot of Toppo, go ahead and drop in the comments. And once again, thanks everyone. Goodbye.